Hello, Elvis. Yeah, I can hear you. All right.
I'll share the recording with those of us whose network are not good or those who can't join due to interim assessments or IEs. So today's workshop we are coming to look at how Google Sheets makes our process of data analysis very easy, how it makes it less complicated, and how it can make our data cleaning process very seamless. And as a data analyst, I can say that when coming to use data sets with which are not very large, um, having so many columns or so many rows, your go-to is Google Sheets. And today we are going to look at how Google Sheets is unique in that aspect and how it can help us. Once again, I'm Elvis Asare Nkrumah. I am the co-organizer for GDG on Campus University of Ghana, and by profession, I am a data analyst and I am a final year computer science and statistics student at the University of Ghana. Now, to start today's session, I have a question for all of us. So, imagine you are managing a school store. Every week, you buy snacks to sell. So, you are selling snacks, biscuits, drinks, fruits, etc. Right? Some weeks you sell out, other weeks you throw away leftovers, right? And then the head of the school, the headmistress or the headmaster asks, can you figure out what to buy more of and what to stop buying? How would you answer that? So this is an open question to all of us. 1 minute for us to go over the question and then you can unmute and then speak. What do you think? How are you going to go about it? And how would you answer this question if you are the school store manager? How would you answer this to the headmaster or headmistress? All right. So would anyone want to try answering the question? How would you go or how would you answer something like this? How would you answer something like this? How would you answer? How would you answer? Anyone can try. You can unmute and then speak. You are managing a store for a school and then you sell snacks, um, which are biscuits, drinks, and foods. Right? Some weeks you sell out, other weeks you have leftovers. Now the school head is asking you a question. He says, can you find out or figure out what to buy more of and what to stop buying? And so, if you are the store manager for this type of school, what would you say? And who would want to try answering this question? Just open. Anyone can try. No one is wrong. Does anyone want to try? Anyone can try answering. Gideon, yeah, you can answer. But you can unmute and speak if you're ready.
Okay, sure. Good morning, by the way.
Good
I'm
morning.
Gideon. Well, regarding the question, I think we would have to list out what they usually buy so then we keep track of it. When we are going in for the groceries, we buy more of those.
All right, great one, Gideon. Gideon, you have started a very great answer. Does anyone want to also try? What do you think you can do if you are asked this question? How would you go about the process of answering this question in this case? Anyone on the call can unmute and speak. Does anyone want to try? Or I should mention a name randomly for anyone to try. How would you answer this? 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 Steve Benson, do you want to try? Hello, Steve, do you want to try? Or anyone? Anyone? Abdul, do you want to try? So how will you go about this type of issue or this inquiry? All right, so this is the question, right? And then we're asked this type of question. Now, to answer this question, there are some type of questions I've broken down for us. So, what kind of information do you need? Remember, we are working on a type of issue that there's wastage of resources, and that is you are selling drinks, biscuits, and foods, and we don't want leftovers because sometimes you are left with the over, sometimes things sell out. So your school head is asking you, what can you do to avoid this type of issue? Now, to answer this, I have three questions for us. One, what kind of information would you need? So we ask yourself, what kind of information would you need to solve this question? And then, where would you get the information from? And then, would you trust your memory or try to collect actual data? So that is the question for us to reflect on. Now, that brings us to the main topic for today. Before we start today's workshop, I want us to understand this concept of data analysis. Now, when we say data analysis, we are just saying that it's a process of inspecting one. So today we are going to be doing all these things. We are going to inspect, right, cleaning, transforming, and modeling data to discover useful insights. Now, in data analysis, this process helps us to make informed decisions. So as an analyst, you're supposed to analyze data to drive business decisions. And so this process helps us make informed decisions as analysts. Now, quite recently, there are some, let me say, misconceptions or misunderstandings people have with the term data analysis and data analytics. Now, when it comes to data analysis, it is understanding, in our case, the issue of the school store issue of the biscuits and then the fruit one. In our case, asking questions like understanding what happened. Is it that the students don't like buying this fruit, the fruits or the biscuits? Is it that they don't like the fruit selling they are selling? That is data analysis. Now, when we say data analytics, in this case, we are understanding why what happened has happened. So why is it that the students sometimes buy and then the things run out, and why is it that sometimes they are leftovers and sometimes some of the things get spoiled? So analysis is we asking this type of question or trying to understand what happened, and then with analytics we are trying to understand why it happened and then what is next. So what can you do to improve? Now, the next thing is purpose. So with data analysis, we aim to summarize past data. And then when it comes to data analytics, we aim to discover patterns and then make predictions on data. So with analytics, we are making predictions and discovering patterns. And then with data analytics, we are summarizing past data. Now, the focus on data analysis is mostly descriptive. So we are trying to describe our data in terms of some parameters. So mode, mean, median, we find our quartiles and those type of things. Cleaning our data and those processes. So that's a data analysis. And when you say descriptive. Now with data analytics, we have several types of data analytics. We have diagnostic analytics, we have predictive analytics, and then we have prescriptive analytics, right? So as the name connotes, So with diagnosis analytics, you want to understand what is causing what, right? We want to understand what is causing so that we can say that based on some particular columns or some particular variables, this is what this is. This is the output. This is the um, outcome, right? And with predictive analytics, we want to foretell the future. So using past data, we want to say in the future, this and this and this is likely to happen. This and this and this is something we have to look at. So in organizations, some of them are very key on predictive analytics. For example, in the e-commerce and also of our social media platform, they aim to predict user behavior. So they want to learn how our patterns, so how do we behave on their app, what are some of the things we like, and then recommend things for us based on our past site traffic or our past behavior on their particular sites. So that is it for data analytics. And then with prescriptive, we are trying to suggest things or prescribe in quotes things for them to look at. And in our case or our scenario we are looking at, for those who are joining, let me run back quickly so that we are on the same page. So for those who are just joining, our issue today is that's the first question I asked today is that imagine you are managing a school shop, a school store, and every week you buy snacks to sell, drinks, biscuits, and fruits. So some weeks you sell out, and other weeks you throw away leftovers. The school head asks you, can you figure out what to buy more of and what to stop buying? So this is our question. And then we have looked at what data analysis is. Now in this case or this case, we want to distinguish what is the difference between data analysis and then data analytics. So this is something we want to decipher before we continue. And I said that with data analysis, we are just asking or trying to understand things which happened in the past. So what happened, and then summarize past data. And I say with analytics, it deals more. So it's not that we are just understanding why things happen, but with analytics, we look at so what's it for the future. So what's next, right? We discover patterns and make predictions. And I mentioned that we have types of data analytics. We have diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. Now, in this same scenario, in data analysis, we say that if 50 snacks were sold last week, that's information we know from last week. So that's data. So that data analysis. And then if most sales happened on Friday, so that's something we have learned from the past. So that's analysis. And then when we talk about the tools they use, so for data analysis, you can use Google Sheets. That's one thing we'll be looking at in today's workshop. Excel, SQL, and pivot tables. How many of us have used Excel before to do data analysis? And we can show by hand in the chat. Great, great. How many of us have used Google Sheets for data analysis before? Wow, it seems most of us have not used it. How about SQL? How many of us have used SQL for data analysis? Great, great. So most of us have used SQL. And then when it comes to data analytics, so you see that the tools vary. So since in data analytics, it involves a lot. So most of the times we combine even one or more tools in doing data analytics. We use Python. So how many of us have used Python for data analytics before? How about R? R for data analytics. All right. How many of us have also used any visualization tools? So Power BI or Tableau, any of them? Any of them, any of them, any of them, any of them, any of them. You can show by hand in the chat if you have used any of those tools before. All right, so it seems that most of us have not used this, that tool. So that's what we use for data analytics tool. Now, one thing I want to emphasize is that data analysis is a sub process in data analytics. So is a sub process or subconscious, like it's a sub process we do when we are doing data analytics, because I'll talk more about this later. So before you understand the past and derive insights, you have to clean the data, and that's what data analysis help us to achieve. Now, in data analysis, we want to emphasize, so using an example I've mentioned, that for example, we saying that biscuits were sold out on Friday last week is something we learned from the past. Now, in the concept or looking at it from the data analytics sense, when we say biscuits sell more after 1 p.m., maybe students buy snacks after class. Let's talk more in the afternoon. This is data analytics because one, we have learned that the biscuits sell more after 1 p.m. And when we learned that, or when we got that learning, we acted upon it. So we are suggesting that, oh, students should buy, we should buy, the storekeeper should buy more snacks, um, should buy more snacks, because students might buy snacks when it's in the afternoon. So when we do this, in addition to we learning from the past, is what data analytics is all about. So I believe we are all clear with that. At this point, does anyone have any question on the differences between data analysis and data analytics? And before I continue, if you have any question, you can unmute and speak.
Yes, thank you very much for this very educative session. Please, when you were talking about data analytics, you made mention of prescriptive analytics and diagnostic. We've been hearing about predictive. So, please, can you briefly explain what diagnostic and prescriptive mean? Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Thank you very much, Abdul Rahman. So I made mention that in the area of data analytics, we have types of data analytics. Now, when we are trying to forecast the future, that's predictive. I believe most of us know about that already. Now, with diagnostic, which is the name connotes, we want to understand what causes something, and then based on that, we use to tell that this is the case somebody has. So mostly it's used in the healthcare sector. So, for example, we want to see what causes malaria. Now, if we have a data set on malaria, we have different columns, and then the columns may be conditions which can help us know whether somebody has malaria or not. Now, in that scenario, when we want to, in quotes, diagnose or know what is causing or what is letting people get malaria, gathering data and then using some statistical techniques to perform those analytics, that is when we are saying we are doing diagnostic analytics. Now, there are actually four types of data analytics, but I think I mentioned only three over here. So that's what diagnostic analytics does. Now, with prescriptive analytics, we are looking at, we want to suggest something, or in quotes, prescribe something for particular users. Now, with that one, we are suggesting decision options for how to make, like how to help a firm or a company take advantage of a future opportunity or something. So you are telling them that, oh, based on past data, I suggest that we do this or this or this. So that's a distinction. So in prescriptive analytics, we are trying to let them understand what should we do. So that's the question. What should we do? Okay, I think we should reduce this. We should increase this. So we are prescribing in code for them. And then with the diagnostic, we want to understand why did it happen. So why are they getting malaria? Is it because the high temperatures, this and this? That's why they are getting malaria. So that's it. And then the other type of data analytics, which I didn't mention, was the descriptive analytics. So we have descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and then prescriptive analytics. Abdurrahman, I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are welcome. Now we are continuing with our workshop. If no one has any question. Now, at this point, we want to ask ourselves, why Google Sheets? Why are we organizing a workshop to help people grasp Google Sheets? Now, I want to emphasize that with Google Sheets, it makes our work sometimes as analysts, or if you are learning data, and sometimes it's simple with Google Sheets. Because one, Google Sheets is free and accessible online. you can actually make some of your sheets to available offline so that you can be using it back then when you have internet. But with Google Sheets, it's free and accessible online. And due to this, I'll go to the last point. It's free and accessible online. And so it allows you to collaborate in time. So if I'm working on a project, let's say with my team, I can give Elijah access, I can give Gideon access so that we are all working on the same sheet at the same time. Instead that I have to do the analysis, send it to this person enables the changes. No. Today I'll show us how we can do that, the collaboration aspect. And then after this slide, I'll show us how to do that. And then you can comment too. So for example, I want Dockers to learn something. Okay, Dockers, check this column. I feel that the column, we didn't name it well. So Google Sheets gives you that flexibility that one is free and accessible online. You don't need to pay, it is free. And then if you're working with a team, the collaboration is very seamless and very easy on your side as the analyst. You can add and you have permissions to, you can give people permissions to view your data, others to edit your data, and then it goes on like that. Now in or on the project also, you can assign tasks on Google Sheets. So I can say Elijah is taking this aspect of the work, so I assign his sheet to him. The sheet contains different data, so I can, for my data, I can say sheet 1 is for Elijah work on this, sheet 2 is for this person, and then during that same time I can monitor the progress of everyone on that sheet. So that is how it makes the collaboration easy. Now also, it's beginner friendly. When you're working with Google Sheets, it's very simple. Those who have used Excel can verify that with Google Sheets, they don't have as many options, but when you want or what you want to accomplish is, it can be done on the same Google Sheets. Also, it's great. I must not miss this point. Every data tool has its advantages and disadvantages. But when it comes to small data sets, you have that survey data as students, your project data, you have to analyze data which is not, when we say great data sets, big data set like gigabytes, no, we are talking about small data sets. Google Sheet is your go-to. It makes your data analysis very simple and it's ideal for these things. Now it has inbuilt charts and formulas. And quick mention, Google Sheets has an AI. It's AI embedded and sometimes gives you recommendations on how to build which particular charts, what do you want to show. And today we'll be doing this very quickly in our workshop to give us an idea of how Google Sheets makes it easier. So here are the benefits of Google Sheets and why we say for small data sets, Google Sheets is your go-to and it makes your analytics, or it makes your analysis very easy. Now we are going to the practical session of today's talk, and now we are going to work with a particular data set. So for our workshop today, let me stop sharing and then share my data, my screen with the data set for us to see. So for today's workshop, I'm coming. Give me a few minutes. So today's workshop, I don't know. All right. I hope you can see my screen. And please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. All right, great. So for today's workshop, we are going to be working on an e-commerce data. So this data set is from Kaggle, and we would read more about the data set. As an analyst, you have to know what the data set is about, and then we'll go to Google Sheets and start the whole process there. So this data set is from Kaggle. It's an e-commerce data, data on the actual transactions from a UK retailer. So there's a context. So typically e-commerce data sets are proprietary and consequently hard to find. So they're telling us what the data is about. But more importantly, I want us to look at okay, we'll open here. All right, there was not much metadata about this, but we'll open here and then we'll open the set and then go to it. But in the content, they are telling us some information here that the data set is a transnational data set which contains all the transactions occurring between 1st December 2010 to 9th December 2011 for a UK-based and registered non-store online retail. So the company mostly sells unique or occasion gifts, and many customers of the company are wholesalers. So they are giving us an idea of the data set. So I've come to Sheets. Let me share my tab. So this is Google Sheets. Um, this is the Google Sheet interface. So you can add a new sheet and all and all. So these are some sheets I've done. So this is it. So I go to a blank sheet, right? I want to import the data we have. Already I've downloaded the data from Kaggle. So if you want to download the data set, so I'll share the link in the chat. Let me share it with us quickly before I continue. It nearly escaped me. So I've sent the link to the data set in the chat, and then this is the data set. So this is the data set. I have already downloaded it. So if you want to download, you create an account with Kaggle and then you download from the top right here. So I have downloaded the data set, and now I'll switch back to the Google Sheets interface. Now I'm back on Sheets. Now I want to import the data. So I go to File, I come to Import, and then Sheet is telling me where do I want to get my data from. So I go to Upload, Browse, and remember that I've downloaded my data on my local desktop. So let me, I think that part of what I'm sharing is not there. Let me share my entire screen so that we all see how it is. So let me share my entire screen. All right, so I'm sharing my entire laptop screen so that you see. So browse data. So I'm going to take my data set. So my window is open. So download. So where you downloaded the data set, so I called it archive, and then there's the data.csv. So then I have imported my data set. So now for the imports, let's pay close attention. So the data set is a CSV. A CSV is a comma separated value. So that's the name of the data set. And then they're asking me, do I want to replace this current sheet I've opened with that data? Or, so there are some options. I can create a new sheet, insert a new sheet with this new data, replace the spreadsheet, and then replace current sheet. So here, all the options are there. I can just say replace spreadsheet. So, and then separator. A separator is a comma, so it's comma separated values. So I can say comma, or then I'll say you detect automatically. And then it will take some time, but the import should be done very soon. So that's how we do our data imports into Google Sheets. So the data is being imported. I think Sheet has coming. Kindly give me a few minutes. So I think I have to import it again. And then we can continue. So all right, I'm coming. Give me a few minutes. And the data is still loading. I'm coming. Uh, My internet broke down, so I'll load it very, very soon for us. I think my internet has gone down. All right, so I've imported my data. I think there was a challenge in my internet, but it has been fixed now. I hope we are all following. Please, can you see my screen? And maybe you can see my screen. Can you give me a heads up so that?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you very much. So I've imported our data sets. Now, to those who are joining, our data set is an e-commerce data. We have read something about it, but we'll go and read something about it again for those who just joined so that they can follow before we continue. So it's from Kaggle. And so there's the content. So from the content, it says a transnational data set which contains transactions between 1st December 2010 to 9th December 2011 for a UK-based and registered non-store online retail. So the company mainly sells unique or occasion gifts, and then many of the customers of the company are wholesalers. So that is it about our data set. Now we go back to sheets. Now, I want us to observe the data. So let me name the sheet. Let me share the tab. Let me name the sheet. So I call it, let's say, GDG UG workshop e-commerce. So the e-commerce data. So I've renamed the sheet. So there's the title. Now I want us to observe the columns very carefully. Right? Everybody should observe the columns, what the columns entail, because I'll be asking questions very, very soon. So observe the columns and then so let's explore the data sets. I'll give us a few minutes to observe the columns before I'm going to ask this question next. So let's explore the columns. I'm scrolling down, and to those who just joined, I have sent the link of the data set to the chat. So I've shared the link here, so you can check from Kaggle and follow from there. So these are our data.
Please, let's see the column names, please. Column names, please.
All right. Thank you very much. So these are the column names: invoice number, stock code, description, quantity, invoice date, unit price, customer ID, and then the country. It's a transnational data, so this is a data set. All the columns are here, and then we can see what it is. So I want us to observe the columns, observe the columns. The data is quite messy today because we are going to do analysis. I look for data which is quite messy for us so that we can continue from there. Now, so back to our slides. I'm sure by now we have observed the columns. Let me give us another additional minute for us to observe before we continue. So let's observe our data, and then now back to you. So I'll be asking some questions. So we have taken some minutes to scan the data sets. Can you spot anything interesting or weird? Anything you want to see? So anyone can unmute. Is there anything you saw in the data? What are you seeing? What do you want to talk about? Anyone can unmute and speak.
Yes, thank you very much. I think I noticed down the stock something column, some value are aligned to the right, while some are aligned to the left. Then I see that the ones that are aligned to the left have a letter at the end of them.
All right, let me go back so that you can be watching whilst talking. All right.
Yes. So in the stock code, some of the values are aligned to the right, while some are aligned to the left. The ones that are aligned to the right are basically numbers and numeric values, while those ones that are aligned to the left are numeric value with a letter in them.
Great submission. It means you observed the data very, very well. Thank you very much, Abdul. Anyone else want to comment? What are you seeing in the data? What do you want to talk about? Please feel free to unmute. Nobody is wrong. You can unmute and then speak. Okay, anyone can unmute and speak.
Most of the quantity are under 10. Most of the quantity are under 10. Just one of them is so large, 32.
All right, thank you very much again. Anyone? Hey, today I've not heard any female voice. Please, our ladies. Anyone who wants to comment? Anyone. I'm seeing a lot here. Angela, Abigail, anyone, please. You can unmute and speak. What are you seeing? Just tell us. What have you observed from the data? All right. So Abdul gave a good submission. So after observing the data set, there are some comments we want to make. First of all, we have seen our columns, and then we have seen that for the columns, so since they are transactions, I want to explain the data so people get it. There are transactions which happens in the e-commerce company, right? So the invoice number, so this invoice number, the stock code, then what is the thing? So a description of that particular item. So it's a white hanging hat tea light holder. You can see all the items they bought, so star gift tape and everything going to the very bottom. So that's the invoice number. So the invoice number, when you buy the item, that's how they track the thing. And then the stock code, from the bulk of things they have labeled it uniquely. So for each thing which is leaving the shop, you're able to track how date on their side lives. And then for the invoice number, so that particular transaction, let's say I've gone to the e-commerce shop, I have bought something from the stores, right? Um, my receipt, I have my invoice number on it, but I can buy different things and then different quantities. I hope we are on the same page. So when I go to the shop, my invoice number is 536. Let's say the receipt I have, that's the invoice number. But when I went, I bought white hanging hat tea light holder, a red woolly hot tea white hat. So that's the description is the items. So describing the items I bought. And then the code of my transaction. So my receipt, that's the invoice number, so that they can use it for their financial records and track how much I bought from the shop and those things. And then the item I bought from the shop, each item has a unique code. So for those of us who have been at the malls, I think even those of us who buy a lot, you can check that the normal products we buy, they have unique codes. So this is the stock code of each product, the thing I bought, and then the quantity. So I bought 6 of this, 6 of this, 8 of this, 6 of this, 6 of this, and then the invoice date. So that is that day, what time did I make this purchase? And then for one particular item, how much does it cost? So the white metal lantern, it was 3.39, and then how many did I buy? And then it goes like that and like that, like that. And then the customer ID, and that's a unique ID the shop will give to me to identify me as a buyer. And then where am I buying from? So let's say if it's Amazon, Amazon has to know, oh, where am I buying from? Am I buying from the UK? Am I buying from France? And this is just a brief description of our data. At this point, does anyone have any question? Are we all on the same page with respect to exploring our data? Are we all on the same page? Is there anything you didn't get in my explanation of the data? All right, so I believe at this point everyone is on the same page with it. Okay, Nee, please you can unmute and ask any question if you have a question to ask.
Yeah, please. My question is that the import, how you imported the data. Because when I went to the e-commerce page, the way I saw the info there, and when you imported, the way it came, it seems it looks a little bit different for me.
All
If
right.
I can clarify
Uh,
it.
all right, thank you, Nee. So with the import, when you go and download from Kaggle, it will make it a zip file with the metadata and the data set itself. So when you unzip it, that's when you get the CSV. Then you reference the CSV when you come to. Let me go there quickly. So let me share this tab. So I come to file and then import. Then when I go to the upload, I choose the particular part on my computer where the file is. So that is it on that side. Nia, I hope I've answered your question. All right, thank you. So we are done explaining the data set. We have answered this question. Now we are coming to the real data analysis process. So now the real main thing behind today's workshop. Now the process of data analysis has several breakdowns, and one of them is cleaning the data. So we'll go deep down. Now I would, in each case, I'll show us the traditional way and then the way Google Sheets makes our work easier as analysts. So now in data cleaning, right? That one too, we have sub processes. So that's the concept here. So we remove blanks, we standardize the tests, we remove duplicates, and then it goes down and down and down. Now let's come to Google Sheets, right? So there's our session here. When we want to do data cleaning here, the traditional method, so we could come here. So you see the stock code. Some of them are left, right. So I could have selected this column. So first, let me start with the label. So the name of the column. So I'll make it bold. And then let's say for invoice number, I want to rename this. Either index number, I do underscore, or I just make it a shorter name. Let's say IMV number, the description, quantity, unit price, all these things. So if I'm using underscores, it means that for the two separate names in all my data sets, I'll use underscore so that everyone gets all these things. So the stock code too is actually two different words. So stock underscore code, and then we are on the same page. So I've renamed our columns. Now when I come here, I select the stock code, and then I want to align them. So I've come here. Is it center align I want? So all of them are center. Is it left? And then it affects the whole column, right? Is it right? So this is what we have been doing traditionally. And then it said I observe my data and I realize that I want to check are there weird people in this? How do I know? Do I want to, so we saw filter, do I want to filter out? What do I want to see? Are there duplicates? All these things. Now that's the traditional approach as analysts. Now let's see how Google Sheets makes this easier. So when I come to data, I don't know, are we following? Have you seen the data tab at the top? If you can see the data tab, please give me a thumbs up. Good. So you see the data tab. Now when I click here, when I scroll down, you see data cleanup. Have you all seen it? Now that's why we like Google Sheets, because in data cleaning I would have done all these things: remove duplicates, trim white space, clean things which are not good, and then all those things. Now with Google Sheets, it makes it easy. So their AI is embedded with suggestions, so clean up suggestions. So first thing, we'll start from here. I want to remove duplicates. So I click and remove duplicates. Now it pops up another column. Now it's asking you, is it that the duplicates, is it that we want to remove things which are same or the same copy of things in all the columns? So let's say for that transaction there was a mistake and they typed the same thing twice, so we want to remove them. Sometimes too, depending on data sets, when you define your primary key, that's that unique identifier, you want that thing to be unique, so you don't want double of that thing, so you would clear based on that. But in our case, we want to make sure that everybody is unique, so everybody has a unique invoice number. So we don't want we don't want a transaction with same invoice number, same stock code, same description, same customer ID, same country. That means it's a mistake, that means a duplicate. So we take all those columns and then I click on remove duplicates. So when I click on remove duplicate, Google Sheets will automatically remove all the duplicate values in our data set. So here it's telling me, oh, there were no duplicate value. Fine.
Sorry,
That means for
uh,
each
your
of
screen is tilted to the right corner, so we are not able to see fully what you are doing on the pop-up window.
I'm coming. Can you see now?
Yes. So it's the pop-up window we are not able to see
All right, all right,
when
okay.
you.
I know where the challenge is. So I would work on that. I think I need to share my entire screen so that we can all follow. So that is it. So I'll do it again. Thanks for the alert, Frank. So that is it. So this is the data set. Now I said we'll come to the data session here. So Google Sheets makes it easier. So the AI embedded, it does all your data cleaning for you. Cleaning the messy data, removing the duplicates, trimming the white spaces, everything. It makes it very, very easy. Now, we can't remove duplicates. And I said that depending your data set, sometimes you don't want, you want to detect your duplicates, but there's a criteria you want to use. For example, in our data set like this, an e-commerce data, and we are tracking transactions. So let's say I've gone to Melcom, I've gone to rice and sugar, any shop to buy something, right? And then my receipt, Melcom doesn't want the same receipt number to be repeated twice, and it's the same thing I'm buying. No, they want each receipt to be unique so that they can track all their purchases. So in this case, I want to analyze and clean the duplicates, but I don't want transactions which have the same invoice number, the same stock code, and then they bought the same thing. When I get two of the same type of transaction, that means there's duplicate. So that is why I've selected all the columns. So I don't want the same, everything the same. So for that thing, when I'm done, I click remove duplicates here, and then it should remove all the transactions which have absolutely the same thing. Now let me caution us quickly. So it has told us, okay, to Elvis, I've cleaned all the data, I've removed all the duplicates, and then these are unique rows. So our own, she didn't find any duplicates, and it has informed us. So it is telling us, oh, there are these unique rows there. Now, similarly again, if we go through, we can choose to say that we don't want duplicates. And what else? There's something. So let's say if you have a data set that, for example, student ID, right? You don't want a duplicate student ID. So if I was to go to data here, I would, when I go to data, I would select the same remove duplicates, but I'll choose only that column that I want to remove duplicates for. So I only select the student ID column if it was a student data. Do we all get it? So if it was a student data, that is what I would have done. Now, so let me do a demo to show. So when I come down here, data cleanup, remove duplicates, and then in this case, I will select that particular column. Now here, I can't select invoice number because the invoice number, we can all go to Melcom and buy something, right? We have a receipt. The receipts, some of them appear more than once because for one receipt we are buying different things. That is why it is looking like that. So you are seeing that 56, 63, something like that. is repeating many times. That means for that receipt we bought just different items. So I can't just remove all the duplicates. No, they are different things, right? That is how we do it. Now I can say that looking at some things, I want to remove things which are occurring the same. So for a column with same invoice number, same stock, same description, same quantity, oh, that means probably the person made a mistake. So let's say I choose those columns. So column A, B, C. This is an example I'm doing. So for any rows that they have the same invoice number, same stock code, same description, and then I bought the same number of things for that particular transaction, I think it's a duplicate. So Google Sheets kindly remove that for me, and then Sheets will do that freely. So that is it for the removal of duplicates. Now, in the same process of data cleaning, we have trimming white spaces. So it has told us it is done with this thing, and then Elvis, you are good to go. There's no type of duplicates there. Now, similarly, data cleanup, you can see trim white spaces. So sometimes for data with categorical data, so data that we have words there, right? It's not numbers, it's let's say sentences, like our description here. Sometimes they have left space. So somebody who is called Elvis Asare, they have left two spaces. These spaces is not consistent, it's not regular. We can use trim white spaces to remove all of that. And sometimes there are other things which Sheets will recommend to you to, okay, so your data cleanup, Elvis, look at this and this. And that's what the AI helps you with. So I clicked on cleanup suggestion, and it's telling me, oh Elvis, look at this particular column. I think I have done it already. Look at this particular column. There's something wrong here. So you check the suggestions, and then based on the cleanup suggestion, you can choose to say, oh Sheets, I accept what you are saying, clean the data there for me. Or, oh, maybe Sheet is not understanding that that column is for something else, so you don't start it. So you can choose to accept or reject that particular suggestion. So that is it for data cleaning, and that is how Google Sheets makes it very easy for us. So I'll go back to our slide to share with us. I think I need to stop sharing and then share again. So I'll select our slide again. So that is it. So we have looked at removing slide blanks, and then how it can help us standardize. So things which are not regular, it can help us trim, remove spaces, and then do all these things. So that is it for data cleaning. Now, next one is analyzing data. Now, sometimes you want to check what is the sum of all the transactions, what is the average of them, count this. Similarly, what I said, we'll look at the traditional way, and then we'll look at how Sheets makes us do this easily. And before I continue with this, I want to pause. Does anyone have any question before I continue? Any questions before I continue with the others? All right, no one has any question. Now let's come to analyzing data. So I'll do a demo here too, and then we can continue. So back to our sheet. Now here we want to do some calculations. So check my pointer at the right. Let's say I'll bring something here. All right, somebody saying I should send the link to the data site again. So yeah, I'll share the link to the particular where I'm getting the data from. So I've shared the link again. Kindly take note, the session is being recorded. I'm trying my best to record. In case of anything, I'll upload to my YouTube channel and share with our community so that we can all follow from there. Now, let's say I want to write, so here, total let me say total quantity. Let me see. So this particular side, so quantity. So I've called a total quantity. So let me even make it a column. So I come here. So I clear this. Then I do my normal total quantity. So for my total quantity column here, I just want to calculate something. So formulas. So not in our normal formulas we use in Excel, similar thing in sheets. Most of them are the same thing. So I type equal to and then sum. Let's say I want to find the sum of sum. So it has given me, the AI will tell you what are the parameters you need for this function. So sum all the, so I select this column, quantity for me, and then I close the brackets. I hit enter, and then it has told me, oh, the quantity of all the transaction was this amount. So it was 5,162,502, right? So this is how we're doing it traditionally. So equals, let's say I want to do a product, right? I want to multiply. So what am I multiplying? I want to calculate the amount they are spending on one particular purchase. So we multiply the quantity by, we are multiplying the quantity by the, not invoice date, let me move it, by the unit price. So how much they paid for one. So if they are buying sugar, how much they paid for one particular like sugar they bought. And then I'm coming. I think there's a problem with the formula over here. I'm coming. Let me work on it. All right. So the first parameter is the first column, and then the second one is the unit price. So this is it. So for everyone, compute how much they spent in terms of the total transaction. So I hit enter, and then it should give me the value. Right. So I think there's an issue here. All right. So I think I have to select that particular value since I did a column, not a name. Okay. So equal to product. So I select, let's say for this transaction, 8, and then comma, multiply this by this. So it has given me 22. Now you see the AI intelligence has suggested that, okay, so Elvis has multiplied quantity by unit price. So we are suggesting that you multiply the rest for all of them. So it has suggested that I should just accept the formula to just multiply everything for the rest of the column. So it will autofill everything for me if I want. So if it was a normal analyst, he would have written a command to do this, and then you run it through every, like you write the command and then run it through everywhere. Now, since he has AI embedded, Sheets makes all this easy. So it has multiplied each particular unit price by the quantity for me, and it has done for every particular transaction. You can do this also. So with this, Sheets really makes your computation very, very easy. When you want to find product sums, the formulas, they are very, very easy. And also, if you want to try a formula that you don't know, you can search online for their documentation. Oh, I want to do this, what command do they use? And then it makes it easier for you. Now back to our slide. So we have looked at analyzing data with sheets. We have done the traditional approach using the writing your columns, writing your function by yourself, and then how the AI can make your work very, very easy. Somebody is asking about the community, and don't worry, at the end of the section I'll send a link to our community so that you can join at the University of Ghana. Now, so that is it for analyzing. Now, aside analyzing, we want to ask ourselves, so we have done analysis. Now we want to show charts, so visualizing insights. Which type of chart works best for showing comparisons? So I'm asking a general question. So we know we have different charts for different purposes. What chart do we use for comparison, and which chart do we use to show trends? Anyone can unmute and speak. And what chart do we use for comparison? Anyone. Anyone can unmute. So any charts, not for this question,
We
particular
can use
chart.
the line chart.
Good. And then for trends, you can mention the charts to you use. And great submission, Abdul. So that is it for that. Now, I asked this question because we'll be doing some visualization. Now, in Google Sheets, it allows you to use, how many are these charts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think almost 12. So 12 different charts are in Google Sheets for you to use for your visualization. And each chart has its particular purpose. So I've shared a chart of what each chart looks like, and then how do you use it, what to remember when using it. And don't worry, I'll share the slides with all of us, the resources, the recordings would all be on the same page on that. So all these tools are of charts are available on Google Sheets, and so we'll do some 1-2 visualizations to see how we can do this too. So all these charts, now know that each chart has a different purpose. If you are doing pie chart, it means you are showing different categories of something. And so in doing that, we advise at most for a pie chart just 3 to 5 pies. It shouldn't be more than 5. It makes it very clustered. We don't see. So 3 to 5. Line chart want to show trends and comparison using bar charts. Everything is there, right? That is what the particular chart is for. Now we would, okay, so that is it for that. We would go back and then visualize and 1-2 before we can conclude on this session on data analysis with Google Sheets. So now there's our data set. I think I'm not sharing the screen, so I'm sharing my screen now. So this is our data set. I've zoomed out a bit so that we can see. Now let's say I want to visualize or draw a particular chart. So let's say I want to, what do I want to show? What do I want to show? I want to, let's say, show the different, should I do countries? Let's see. Let's say the countries where the transactions are from. So a profile of the countries coming. I hope you can see my screen. All right, I think my pointer isn't allowing me to do this. What's the problem? No, let me kindly refresh. I think it should be an internet issue. All right, so I've refreshed again. So insert, okay, it's here. So now when you come to the insert chart, one of us has seen what it is. So we can insert cells, rows, column. But here I want to do a chart. So I click chart here. Now, another emphasis. Because Google Sheets has AI, which makes your work easier, it would even suggest things you can compare or visualizations you can do yourself, right? So it is being slow right now, but it will come very, very soon. Our data is quite, although it's small, it has a lot of columns. That is why. But I think it's loading now. So insert chart. Is it that it is loading or I have to? So the chart will come. So when the chart comes, it is you, the analyst, who is on your side to now decide what do I want people to see. I want to show the trend of where are the transactions coming from in terms of geographical location, and then you compare all these things. And my sheet is not being responsive now. I'm going to refresh again before we continue. All right. So to make my work easier, let me just pick. If it is delaying, let me just pick some 2 columns and visualize something for us to see before we continue. So I've reloaded the site. let me create another sheet. So I've created a sheet, and in this, because my sheet is, my internet is not helping me here, I'll just pick some two columns. Column of, let me say, country, right? So I'll come here, I've copied it. This is very slow. So I would have picked country and then quantity. It's not being responsive. Country and then quantity, and then I visualize for them. I think my network is not helping me here. So that's what I would have done. It's still playing around with me. But when you come to insert chart, when you go there, it will give you all what we mentioned. So the particular chart you can visualize on Google Sheets, and then you, okay, so that's it here. So add a series to start. So you now select, oh, I want to show, let me drop this. So I want to show, is it, all right, so it's coming. So I want to show, oh, is it quantity, total quantity over the country and all of that. And please spare me, I think because my internet and the sheet is not being responsive, I'm not getting, it's still playing around with me. Let me quickly go to, how do I even do this if I don't want to, because it keeps freezing and freezing at my end over here. So let me copy quantity here, go to, I choose the column there, and then I go to date, I go to insert, and then I go to chart. So when you do that, you'll be able to visualize for, okay, the page is still not being responsive. When you do that, you'll be able to visualize for that particular thing, and then you choose the particular chart you want to see. I would have done this, but please spare me. I think the network is not helping me at this end. But let me see if I can quickly open any random sheet I have, and then since this is not helping, I'll just open any random sheet and then do a visualization for us to see. Then I will continue. So yeah, oh, it's still not being responsive. So don't worry on this side. I'll see if I can do a short video on this and then send an attachment to this so that we can see it, because right now it's still not, they are still giving me a message of the sheet not being responsive. So yeah, that is it. Now we have come to the end of today's session looking at all these things. Here are some key takeaways I want us to look at. Anyone can do data analysis. Start small, start with messy data, just start. And please again, I want to emphasize, you don't need to have an IT background or computer science or statistics background to necessarily transition into data science or data fields. Yeah, the background helps. I mean, sometimes it's very good. The domain knowledge, you knowing the things. But it doesn't matter what you did. We have people who have done even music, philosophy, and they are data analysts well now, and they are doing so well. Just try analyzing something. Start with a data set. Go online, go to Kaggle where I showed us. Take a data set, play around with it, visualize something, clean something, analyze something. Even you as students, this Google developer groups on campus. So it's a student community or academic community. You can analyze your own school results for a final years, your survey data, or any data. Just play around with it. Now, keep your data clean. That's one thing I want to reiterate. And so in keeping your data clean, I want to mention something called data validation. And when you go to, when you come to your particular sheet, data validation is already embedded here. So validation is quite easy, and validation is just ensuring that what you need for a particular column is there. So you set rules. we say that okay, for age cannot be an alphabet. So you ensure that everything coming to age is a number, right? You ensure that everything coming here is like this. And I think I was not sharing my slides, so back here. Okay. You ensure that everything coming to a particular column is like that. So that's it for data validation. Now here are some key takeaways I've mentioned already. You can do data analysis. Anyone can do it. Start small, start with messy data, and then analyze something. Go to Kaggle, take a data set and play around with it. Now, in data validation, it helps us ensure data integrity. It helps us prevent errors and invalid inputs. So to do data validation, I've mentioned already, you go to your cells, data validation, set the rules. So you can say, okay, for this column, I want to ensure that they are all alphabets. Let's say date of birth. I want to ensure that it's a date. So when you're taking the data, you ensure that data coming there, there are particular dates, and then you don't have anything aside dates. So example, you can validate whether classes are in level 100, 200, 300, 400. You can restrict date entries to 2024, limit grades to A, B, C, D, all these type of things. Now, this, I think we have done this already. I would have wanted us to look at the AI aspect. So we have explored the AI which the Google Sheets comes with already. Now, I wanted us to look at something next. I don't know. Okay, so let me come back to my sheet. So here, now you realize that from sheets we have a particular search button here. So if it's something you want to do, probably you are a data analyst or somebody who has used Excel for long, and then you want to do something in Excel with sheets, just that you don't know how to say it. So the search button here helps you. For example, I want to merge. You come and search it here, and then when you click it, it helps you do that. Oh, you want to, what else? Anything you want to do, let's say merge vertically, right? Merge horizontally. Insert a function which translates something, move something to trash. Anything you want to do, you can search it here. And so it helps you make your data analysis very, very easy, because it's not that you have left Excel, you are using Sheets, right? But just at this time, you are getting everything you used to do in Excel. It's quite simpler, and then the AI even suggests things to make your analysis very, very easy. So in this side, I want to talk about the AI features in Google Sheets. So you can explore more charts. It gives you formula suggestions, and you can suggest pivot tables, and then autofill patterns can help you. Now I want to emphasize something here. In case you are working on data which is not in a language you like, for example, it's not in English, Google Sheet has embedded Google Translate. It's a function which can help you translate a particular language to a language even in that particular sheet. So if I have, let's say, Ghana I can translate it into English and then continue with your analysis, and it makes it very, very great. So for more info, you can go on Google Sheets, their documentation, to read more about them, and then learn more functions and do more great stuff with Google Sheets. For more data sets, or you want to play with more data or do more analysis, you can check some public data sets. I mentioned Kaggle today. Let me go back to Kaggle and share quickly. So this is Kaggle, open source data side, and we do some data science and machine learning here too. So you can get more data sets. So this is the data sets part. Plenty data sets have been uploaded over there for you to explore them there. Now back to our slides. I'll do my best to share the recording with us, and also for the things I couldn't do, I'll do my best to attach. I have a YouTube channel, so I'll put the recording over there. And please, I think somebody mentioned our community. I'll share it with us. Thank you all for joining today's session. At this point, I'll take some questions before we call it a day. So if you have a question, you can unmute and then you can speak. Anyone, any question, any clarification, any suggestion? All right, Gideon, you can speak. So whilst Gideon is speaking, I've sent a chat of today's meeting, which has our community there. So I'll send the University of Ghana, the GDG on campus UG community there. All right, so you can ask your question.
Cool. That was what I was about to ask.
All right.
Whether it's a Discord community or WhatsApp platform based community.
Oh, okay. So we have a WhatsApp group. I don't know if one of my team members are here. Elijah, are you still here? Or Dorcas? Dorcas, if you are still here, you can share the WhatsApp link in the chat. I think so. Elijah, please can you share the WhatsApp link here with them so that they can join our page? The Google developer groups on campus University of Ghana our group. So I'm the co-organizer and I'm Elvis and Nkrumah. I am a data analyst and then a final year computer science and statistics student at the University of Ghana. Thank you all for joining today's session. Um, I believe we have learned a lot, and then we'll meet another time. We'll have another event on campus next time, and it will be a build with AI event. We are coming to learn about AI, NLP, NLP, and then machine learning. So it's going to be an in-person event for us to grasp on this new AI wind which is blowing. We don't want to miss. Kindly give me a few minutes. Let me find our chapter link. So GDG on campus UG University of Ghana. I'm coming. I'll share it with us. And somebody was asking about the slides. And please don't worry, I'll share the slide. Even the slide, I can share it now for us. Okay, so I'm sharing the kindly check the messages of this conversation. I've shared the chat here. I shared our community link. I've shared the slides. I've shared the data set I was using for this demo. And then let me do my best to share the slide too. Finally, give me a few minutes. Can I share the slide?